Same.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Graveyard Media Podcast. Uh, I'm your host, Sane Gray, with me co-host Dawson and Bell.
Good morning. Afternoon. Good night.
It's like evening, dog.
It was none of the things that I said.
Wow, you fucked up.
hmm
So
I'm
how's
the
it going
best.
today, everybody?
Yeah, what's up? Tell me
Going
about
pretty
yourselves.
good. I have been up for 20 minutes. 30 minutes.
Wonderful.
So this is going to go great.
Yeah.
So what's first on the agenda today?
So, first we're going to be talking about some games and movies we've been playing this week. Then we'll move on to movie and gaming news. Then we'll
Go on.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's about it. I was gonna make fun of the fact that you said games and movies we've been playing, but nah, that's something you do with a movie too. That's
Gonna play the
that's-
movies.
Yeah, you play the movies. Grandma plays the fucking movies. Let me fix this.
Grandma plays the
Yeah.
movies.
We don't have a
Yeah.
ton of things to talk about this week, but there is some. So
Yeah.
In
I
the
think-
aftermath of E3, there's pretty much no video gaming going on at all.
Fucking ruins of the aftermath of E3 after the E3 bomb was dropped on all of us. We crawl out of the rubble and try to survive. Thankfully, Gabe Newell's there with a Steam sale to help us get along.
Crawl out of the piles of copies of Skyrim.
okay, so why don't we start with games we've been playing first?
All right.
I
went first last time. Somebody else do it this time. But I do have games I've been playing.
You want to go first?
Hey,
Though?
saying, want to rock, paper, scissors for it? No, I'll go first. It's cool.
Okay.
I basically just been playing the same old shit, to be honest, just same shit, different day. Fucking Shadow of Mordor, new Wolfenstein game, and Metroid Prime. That's been eating up my whole fucking entire thing.
Old new Wolfenstein.
Old new Wolfenstein, not the new one that hasn't come out yet. Except that I am you. I got my dad works for Todd Howard.
Oh, good.
Have you played, or have your thoughts changed at all on the new Wolfenstein? I don't actually remember if you talked about this last week.
I did talk about it a little bit.
Very
No,
slightly.
not really. Still good, still fun, still stealth. Still, the game sort of forces stealth on you sometimes. That's okay. It's not like the stealth is bad. It's just sort of there's not very much you can do. You can stab people in the back or just decide not to and just like straight up fight them with a knife. But I mean,
Yeah, I remember when I was playing Wolfenstein, I might like run around and try to get like 2 or 3 kills before people started shooting at each other, but like it never felt all that effective.
Yeah.
Because
You can run around-
once people were shooting at you, you couldn't go back into stealth.
yeah.
So
And not only that, but you can just run around with 2 machine guns and kill a bunch of guys with machine guns and get like infinite ammo for your 2 fucking machine guns. It's
yeah,
great.
there were a
it.
couple points in that game
Didn't cover
where
that last week.
Yeah.
there were a couple of points where I got stuck in places because there were just like a ton of enemies there.
Yeah.
And that's when stealth helped a little bit, but
Yeah.
even then,
just sort of thin out the herd. Yeah, and even then, like it's like there are like multiple waves of enemies and some of the
yeah.
places.
Well,
it's like
yeah, it depends.
you can't stealth your way through that. But I have actually did actually watch a couple of movies this week. The first one that I sort of want to talk about. I'm not going to go into a huge fucking essay about it like right now. I saw Terrence Malick's Song to Song finally. It's and I wanted to mention one thing about it. I mean, it was of course a brilliant movie. Terrence Malick is doing good shit. It's one of those things. Well, you like him or you hate him. He's fucking Terrence Malick. And it's just like he makes this kind of movie, and this is just another one of the movies that are the kind of movies he makes. He just basically puts life in focus. He puts it on camera. He can make fucking Ryan Gosling and goddamn Michael Fassbender look like regular assholes behind the scenes of a fucking concert. He's a really great filmmaker, and everyone hates him or loves him. But the thing that I do really want to talk about is you have these guys like fucking Quentin Tarantino, who's super heavy on like you have to use film. You can't use any of that digital crap. Fuck that digital garbage. I can go to fucking crash. I think Christopher Nolan is sort of like that too. I'm not really sure. I might be remembering it wrong, but I know.
Well, Nolan would be a weird one to be like that because his movie is chock full of special effects. Like, you look at Inception and some of the Batman stuff. How can he be like that? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, like digital is in like digital camera film.
Well, still.
Yeah.
When you're stitching together with a bunch of like CGI effects, I don't know. Yeah, Hateful Eight was released on like 35mm wide, right?
Yeah, exactly. And these guys, like, these are sort of almost the new kids on the block, right? Tarantino's been doing stuff since the 90s. He's been doing stuff since the 90s. I don't think he was really doing stuff in the 80s. Nolan's been doing stuff since, like, I think Memento came out in like 2004, something like that. No, it had to have been. Anyway, point is, you have these old ducks like David Lynch and fucking Terrence Malick who've been doing shit through the 70s and who are David Lynch.
Reservoir Dogs was 92.
Yeah. And he's since the 90s basically. I think maybe he did a couple of things in the 80s. But anyway, the point is, you got like these old ducks fucking who have been making movies since the 70s. You got David Lynch and Terrence Malick, who are both embracing digital. Like, fucking David Lynch released an entire movie that was filmed on a fucking handy cam. It was like 4 hours long.
I think that there is a split, and I've seen this with photography too. Actually,
really,
during my time as a freelance photographer, I feel like a lot of new photographers really want to learn how to produce with the old stuff, whereas a lot of the older photographers gravitate towards digital cameras because it's so much more convenient. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it might just be one of those things, but I've noticed that pattern there too. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, that is a little strange. The other movie, I saw a fucking Terrence Malick movie, which was this grandiose art film, and then I saw another movie this week, The Bye Bye Man. It was bad.
Oh, you finally watched The Bye Bye Man?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. The first half was stuff just sort of happened, but
man, the trailer made it look really bad.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, and yes.
There's not many movies that you can watch a trailer and like know immediately from the trailer that it's gonna be a bad movie, but I feel like Bye Bye Man looked like that, so I don't know.
Oh, hold on. I don't think I said that right. I think I said like the first half of the movie wasn't very bad. The first half of the movie was the worst part of the movie. It just wasn't fun to watch.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the Bye Bye Man even does or how he works, because he kills people but doesn't want people to die because if he dies, because he feeds off their fear, right? So, like, killing people is bad for the Bye Bye Man, but the Bye Bye Man kills people and makes people kill people. Like, he doesn't want you to kill yourself, but you can kill other people. He's feeding. I don't know how the fuck the movie works.
Yeah,
I don't know how
that sounds like some really messed up logic there. So
yeah, it's so bad. And also there's like this train that was definitely added in like post. Like they mention things like the Bye Bye Man comes in when you hear this coin, but constantly edited in were like train noises and like lights with this train. And it's like it was some guy in post like, all right, I need to put a fucking train in here too. Why?
Weird.
I put a fucking train in here. I don't know, man.
You know, I'm glad I didn't see that movie now.
Either. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's very bad. Bye Bye Man, don't see it. It's bad. Unless you want to watch a bad movie with your friends and like get together and laugh, then I mean it's okay, but like the first
does it have is its negative score decent? You know what I mean? Like if 10 is like the best movie and then negative 10 is the best movie to watch drunk with friends, like where is that?
Okay, I actually want to start up a series that explains exactly this. I don't feel like it is. I mean, I feel like it almost got there. It was so close, but it was almost.
So it was just boring, man.
Yeah, most of it was just boring.
Okay.
Like I felt like near the end, it sort of did pick up. It got kind of fun, when you and your when like I watched with fucking Haley when I was just going back and forth with her like, what the fuck is going on? What exactly is the Bye Bye Man? How does this what? And that was fun, but like aside from that, it's not all that much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yeah.
Lame.
Don't watch it.
You should
Terrence
watch
Malick
lame
new
movies.
film. If you know who Terrence Malick is, you already know if you like him or hate him. So based on that, like,
Okay, well, I don't know who Terrence Malick is, and I don't know whether I love him or hate him, so...
you probably wouldn't like his movies, TBH saying.
What was his most recent one?
Song to Song. His most famous one is The Tree of Life.
Never heard of either of those. I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird place where I'm both like sort of dismissive about art films, but I'm also curious to get into art film. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Don't start with Terrence Malick.
Okay.
Absolutely don't. If you're gonna start, Cronenberg. Cronenberg's a perfect place to fucking start. I don't even know if like that technically counts as art films. That's why it's
Well,
perfect to start.
Maybe we'll have to step aside and figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually really excited for Baby Driver though.
Oh yeah,
Baby Driver.
Edgar Wright's new film.
Man, it looks really good.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just
it really does.
picturing some horrible amalgamation of Boss Baby and Drive. I'm sure that's nothing like what it is.
no,
but
probably not.
No, but it
uh,
should be an absolute Edgar Wright. If you're watching this fucking $1 million
if anyone would
podcast,
make it good. If anyone would make it good.
you heard us. DreamWorks, get Edgar Wright's
Boss
fucking,
Baby 2.
Edgar fucking DreamWorks hired Nicholas Winding Refn to direct Boss Baby 2.
Baby
What?
Driver.
Baby Drive. Mm.
So this week
Yeah,
I haven't
just-
watched any. I haven't seen any new movies, but in terms of games, I have played a few new games. So, last week Dawson talked about Mid Boss a little bit. I played it a little bit more than he did this week, and I
Wow,
sat down
fuck
and
him up.
played one run for 4 hours straight because when I get into some like roguelike style games, I really get into them. I don't think I've been as invested in a roguelike since I first played Dungeons of Dreadmore, which is first introduction to roguelike.
Like
So-
true roguelikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is definitely more of a like classic roguelike. It does actually have some meta progression element because
Does it?
yeah, when you die, you get a card that has all of
Oh,
your
yeah,
items
yeah.
on it. So you can restart a run with one item per card, and you can save up cards to start a run with like 4 or 5 cards, I think.
Yes,
4 or 5
but
items. So
that's not. I wouldn't call that meta progression necessarily because it's once you use up that card that has that item.
I
it's
mean,
gone.
sure, it's not a long-term progression, but it's still more than you would get from a like classic rogue.
It's true.
Even if mechanically it works like most classic rogue. So,
Yeah.
but to kind of touch on it again, I don't know how much you went into it last week, but it's a turn-based roguelike. It actually has a turn order. Some most classic roguelikes all characters move at once. This one does have a turn order, so it is a little bit modernized in that sense. But the benefit of that is if your character increases their speed, you can move more often, or if you lose speed based on different characters you possess, then you can lose turn.
Yeah.
Or enemies could move more often, rather.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like it because it really scratches that itch of like discovering new things, playing with items that you don't know what they do 100%,
Yeah.
identifying stuff. I mean, I thought that maybe the balance was a little wonky in terms of items because by the second floor I had like purple epic item that actually
Yeah.
carried me through most of it because I was able to collect enough money to buy it from the shop.
Yeah, I have a sword that does like 45 damage or something when the average
Yeah.
items that dropped on that floor were like 2 to 7.
By the third level, I was running around with like 12 identify scrolls. Like, I think that maybe some of the item balance is a little bit generous. But I think overall it's really solid. I really like it. The armor that I got from that shop, it's this thing where you can, every time you get hit, you have a proc chance of spawning a monster to fight with you.
That's ridiculous.
It's like really a dinky monster, but just having someone to distract your enemy for even a single turn, or not attack it and be hit for 1 hit point every turn, like that's pretty significant when certain monsters have so much resistance that you only hit them for 1 damage anyway, like minotaurs. So like, and like the combination of powers you get from things you possess and things you're currently possessing, because you can kind of mix and match them. Like I was most often running around with a minotaur with the like a ghost, with the ghost's powers layered on top of it, which made the minotaur like ridiculous. So I heard melee tapers off in mid game, and then magic becomes really good in late game. But I mean, I would have to play it more. I haven't beaten it because I'm bad at roguelikes, even though I like them. So I don't know. But man, if you are really into the classic roguelike, I definitely recommend it. The other games I've been playing this week, Dawson and I played a bunch of Streets of Rogue, which is a roguelite. This one has definitely more meta progression in it. You unlock characters. As you complete missions, you get a currency that you can spend on unlocking new rewards and mutators and that sort of thing.
Rewards being what you get for the quests that you complete in each session.
Right.
Not like permanent rewards. Like you can unlock the
it's more like
hypnotizer
more like unlocks, different unlocks versus the
kind of
like Rogue
Isaac.
Legacy style,
Like
which is
you
just
do an
like
achievement in Isaac and you get a new thing that can spawn in the dungeon. It's the same thing.
right.
You get new unlocks like that.
And a lot of those items I had gotten before, but not as a reward, so that's kind of what the difference there is. Oh, and perks. You can unlock new perks that you can get.
Yeah.
Man, it is really fun because it's very like open to how you want to approach a situation. And it's co-op already. It's early access. I think it's Alpha 27, but it feels like the kind of early access where it's
The game's just sort of
more or less feature complete. It's just not content complete. So it looks like they're still planning on adding a lot of items and a lot of levels, definitely. Right now there's only like 3 world tile sets. And I thought the third one was a little weak compared to the first 2. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it?
I love it. It's like you said, there's just so many different ways you could actually do things. Like one of the common quests is to go inside of a building and hit 3 switches. Well, just among the few characters we played, we did that in like 7 different ways. Like you were playing a thief and you could use your wall bypasser to just hop over the wall, hit a switch and pop back over. Or we could just, like, the patrolling guards inside, you could just like walk behind them. Like I was playing as a doctor. If I walked up behind somebody, I could chloroform them and knock them out, and it just turned it into a complete stealth game.
That's another thing I wanted to touch on. I love how different each class feels.
Yeah,
like the kinds of
does
abilities
completely
that different
change.
classes get are so distinct. So I was playing, one of the characters I played was a werewolf, because of course. I had to unlock it, but once I had it, it was what the werewolf does is his special ability is he turns into a werewolf. So normally you're kind of like a weak dude, and you get a bunch of penalties, like so you're worse than like the average character in that form. But when you're turn into a werewolf, you can like throw people through walls. You like kill people really fast. You get a health bonus for every person you kill. So like
It drops little E's on the floor that don't do anything.
yeah, I don't know what that's about. That seems like a bug. Or like some sort of placeholder way to like give you health or something. It looks like a super soaker. Like it's an item that looks like a super soaker, but you can't pick it up for some reason.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But I don't know, like the thief is able to pickpocket the. Oh, Dawson, you played a really weird character, the shapeshifter.
Yeah. So I played as the shapeshifter in one round. That was actually the round that we completed the game on. Okay.
Oh, and he was styled.
Yeah.
He looked like the thing from The Thing.
The Thing, yeah. Like the thing from The Thing possessing a person. So like he's just kind of like a bloated naked dude, I guess.
The thing from The Thing was same size board by a person, you know.
Except he's
Yeah,
like
exactly,
a midget too, but
Except yeah, he's also a midget. And
So
so
slightly
his
smaller
unique
size
thing was
board.
that policemen would attack him on sight because he was naked and nudity is illegal.
that is the
And
internal
you know how to
logic.
police.
But
You
if
know how to
walk up
policemen deal with
behind
that
somebody-
shit.
Yeah, if you walk up behind somebody, you can jump into their body and use their abilities. So if I walked up behind a hacker, I could jump into him, and suddenly I would be playing as the hacker class who is able to hack computers through walls. Or I could like at one point I jumped into a gorilla and got a posse of like 4 gorillas following me, and I just told them, "Hey, go in that building and fuck up those dudes," and they did. And then I didn't have to do anything, and they came with me through the next level. Even though I lost the gorilla possession, they were still following me as the shapeshifter, so it was great.
Yeah, that game is
And
like crazy.
yeah, one of the ways that I got through those button press facilities that I was talking about on the shapeshifter was just walking up behind the first guard I saw, jumping into that guard, and then just strolling through like, doo-doo-doo, hey guys, it's me, Bill. I'm just going over here to the safe and taking out these important documents. All right, I'm leaving now. Bye. And nobody said anything because I was allied to them because
Yeah.
I was in one of the guards. It's a very, very silly game.
Yeah, and in addition to
very
like,
short at the content level that they have right now, though.
yeah, right now there's
Yeah,
only
actually,
3 tile sets, like I said. And each tile set is 3 levels. You can do an endless mode, but that just kind of repeats the tile sets, which is
Yeah.
fine. But I am excited for them to add new content. And it does look like the devs are pretty active, but it is early access, so buyer beware.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's early access, I don't feel super confident putting like a buy rent pass thing on it, but I definitely
I would say check it out for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
at least look up gameplay
right now the
of it,
Steam
maybe,
sale is
or-
happening and it is on a good discount, so
Yeah.
maybe I think it's like $3.75 right now or something like that. $5.
No, I think
Something
it's
like
like.
Oh
I
wait,
don't
maybe
think
it was
so.
like
I think it's
$7.50.
$11. Maybe no, yeah, $7.50. 11. It was the other game that it was Mid Boss was $11, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, mid boss was 15.
Yeah, but
But-
on the Steam sale, I think it's cheaper. I don't know.
Either way, I thought you bought it before the Steam sale.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh well.
I think you guys were playing it before the Steam sale.
Yeah.
Streets
think.
of Rogue.
Yeah,
I don't
Streets of
know.
Rogue, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh no, Streets of Rogue we definitely bought.
No, yeah,
when it-
that was
when the
that
Steam
was
sale
on
happened.
Yeah.
Mid Boss, I also think you were playing.
Mid boss I definitely played before the Steam.
Yeah.
By the way, the Steam sale's happening right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Steam sale.
So
Steam sale. There's
Buy video
discounts.
cam.
There's discounts on all your favorite games, such as
mid boss,
Nier Automata and Skyrim.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh, and Duke Nukem, the first one.
And also Skyrim. And
All of your favorite games. All of them. Every single one.
So
So-
okay. Did I play anything else? Other than that, just more
PUBG,
Player Unknown Battlegrounds, but
which that's fun. I mean, game fun, play game, probably also on sale.
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it isn't.
That's surprising.
Oh, well, shit. I'm a horrible liar. I'm sorry, people.
No, I actually checked because we bought it right before the Steam sale, so I was like, how much money did we lose from not
Oh.
waiting? And it turns out none. So
Apparently it's on sale on like GOG or something. I
yeah,
'cause I
you
saw
can
that
get
on
a. I think on Green Man Gaming you can get
Oh,
a
Green Man,
coupon
okay.
for it.
Okay.
Which, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's really good. But yeah, I checked on Steam because I was curious, and it's not on sale. So some early access games do that where they never go on sale during early access. There's
Or
this
they go
game
on
I've been
sale for like 10% off.
or there's other games that are like super on sale even though they're not done yet. Like so it's one of those things that's by a developer. Like I know that Secrets of Grindia, which is a game that's been in early access for a while that I've been kind of keeping an eye on, hasn't gone on sale ever. So
Huh.
I don't know. One of those
Strange.
things. Anything
Fucking
else you've been
bad,
playing,
so.
Dawson?
I have picked up Darkest Dungeon.
Again?
recently.
Oh, the new
Again.
DLC or
Yeah, I picked up the new DLC. It doesn't seem to add a whole lot to the base game from what I'm seeing. It's like each individual dungeon is still the same. However, it does add a new dungeon that you can delve into, which is called the Crimson Court. The Crimson Court is filled with, so it's supposed to be the garden of the estate, right? Like the entire game, in case you don't know, takes place in an estate that a deceased relative left to you, the player character. Not the player character, you're like the manager of the estate now. And you're sending these adventurers off into different bits of the estate, like the Weald, the Catacombs, the Warrens. You're sending them into different sections of the estate in order to basically unlock the secrets of the estate and why your ancestors died, etc. Well, it adds a new section of the estate to explore, which is the Crimson Court. The Crimson Court, I guess, is the garden of the estate, and
Makes
all
sense.
of the servants are basically infected with something they call the Crimson Curse, which when the DLC was being announced, it just talked about a lot about like sucking blood and blood like needing and whatnot and blah blah blah. And people thought, oh, vampires, that'll fit with the theme of the game perfectly. But they decided, nah, fuck that. Vampires is boring. So every enemy in the Crimson Court is some sort of mosquito amalgamation, a la like The Fly.
I've seen
Except
some
with
of those,
mosquitoes.
yeah.
Man, when I was a
Yeah.
kid, The Fly freaked me the
That was a Cronenberg movie.
was
so,
it?
Oh yeah. There you go.
I remember being so freaked out about The Fly the first time I saw it that I had to like leave the room and vomit.
Jesus.
Like actually,
oh my
um,
god.
I don't. Yeah, like I remember specifically the scene. You know when he's arm wrestling with the dude and he just snaps his arm in half.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Jesus.
I don't know why. I've watched it again since, and I can watch it now. But like I think I must have
As a
been like.
kid.
I must have been like 9 or 10 at the most. I saw it.
Jesus.
So
Yeah, and at 9 or 10, that movie will kind of fuck you up, I think.
I don't know. I think I like horror movies way more than I used to. I used to actively avoid horror movies because I like to be scared, but now I really enjoy horror movies. So I don't know.
Right.
Hence
Um,
Graveyard Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, go on, Dawson. Sorry
So yeah,
about that.
no,
Yeah,
no,
sorry
it's
to
okay.
interrupt, but
These Tyrias, they're important. The Crimson Court is okay. So far I have gotten one quest for the Crimson Court. Okay, so there in the Crimson Court, the dungeon itself is pretty different from the other dungeons. The first and most important thing is that every enemy in there, every time they attack you, basically has a chance of inflicting your party member with the Crimson Curse, which works like a normal disease. It debuffs your stats very minorly. Like You have a minor debuff to bleed resistance, blight resistance, and stun resistance until you get it cured. The only problem is you can't get it cured at the hospital like a regular disease. You are, like, the first time a party member gets inflicted with the Crimson Curse, it basically gives you a big meta quest to cure the Crimson Curse. It doesn't give you any leads or anything, so I'm just assuming that you have to just go through the dungeon more and more.
So
like
it's
that
one of
particular
those
dungeon.
quest beat Ganon.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. More like quest, find the Triforce of Wisdom. Yeah, like it's not the main goal of the game, but like now that you
Okay.
know about it, you kind of have to.
Right.
So the Crimson Curse basically makes you hunger for blood, like normal vampirism. Blood will occasionally drop off of human enemies in any dungeon, and will frequently drop off of any of the enemies in the Crimson Court. So if you need to get blood, you go to the Crimson Court and fight things. The only problem is that you have a chance of getting the curse, which will run through your blood faster.
So
Um,
this blood thing, is it a does it feel like a major debuff, or does it feel like a balanced?
It's okay. So the way it works,
Like, how badly does
is-
it suck to get it?
permanently,
Yeah.
you have +1 speed, which is really good. No
Mhm.
matter like what stage of the curse you're at, you have +1 speed. You have -5% to your stun, bleed, and blight resistance, which can be a big deal. If you get stunned in like a bad spot, your
You're dead.
characters may die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is a kind of a big deal, but 5% is so minor, it's not crazy, right? Well,
Mhm.
eventually the hunger will set in. And when the hunger sets in, you have a 10% debuff to each of those, 2 bonus speed, and I believe that you have a chance to lose your turn. I'm not certain. The only way to stop and then like the debuff gets progressively worse and worse the longer you don't feed that character blood. When you feed that character blood, their hunger is sated and they get a buff called Bloodlust, which I forget the exact numbers, but it gives them a pretty significant buff to their bleed, blight, and stun resistance. So like when they're in Bloodlust, they actually resist to those status effects as opposed to having reduced resistances.
Mm.
And they deal 25% increased damage. However, they can use like there's a chance that they'll lose their turn, not lose their turn, but they'll use a random ability and not allow you to pick it because they're basically insane. You have to wait for the stage 2 debuff in order to gain that Bloodlust buff. You can't just like pop that for a quick buff whenever you want.
You get that curse outside of the Crimson Court, or is it?
No. If the only place so far that I know of, the only place you can get it is from being attacked by the enemies in the Crimson Court.
Okay.
The Crimson Court itself as a dungeon works a little differently. Normally in the dungeons you have your torches, which fill up your light meter, and the darker your light meter gets, the stronger the monsters are, the weaker and more stressed out your party gets, but you have a higher chance for your party to critically strike, and you get more loot. The Crimson Court, since it's open air, instead has something called a blood torch, which basically keeps the small mosquitoes at bay, the ones that will actually eat you alive. Like lore-wise, it doesn't actually, yeah. But so there's no light. Like you don't have to bring torches with you because you don't have to worry about that.
But you need
in the
something to
Crimson
keep
Court,
the...
in the Crimson Court, you constantly gain stress, like as though it were like a kind like semi-dark in a normal dungeon. You're constantly getting stressed out because the bloodlight, like I don't know, is stressful.
Well, being in a situation where you'll be eaten alive if your torch goes out, stressful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you light a regular torch in the Crimson Court, instead of filling up your light meter, which you don't have, obviously, it just gives your party a buff to stun resistance or something, I think. So it gives your party an accuracy buff. So lighting a torch there is still useful, but it's a completely different thing than lighting a torch in another dungeon.
Right.
That's about it. I am live streaming my playthrough of that game on my Twitch channel.
Which you can see at https.
Is
Slash
it not there?
www.
Is my Twitch channel not there? Fuck.
No, it's not there.
Yeah. All right, so we're
I'll add
actually
that.
gonna have to link it at some
Graveyard
point.
Dawson.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We'll throw the link there for me. Same.
Mhm. First thing you have to do to be able to get there is you need to open your web browser, which is
All right,
probably
though.
Internet
Yes, very
Explorer.
nice.
Yeah.
Internet Explorer 8.
8.
Yeah, I'll have to update the overlay,
Well, that's okay.
but right now it's not set up.
It's not important. I think that, and you mentioned Streets of Rogue. I think that might be all I've been playing.
You played a little bit more Metro, right?
Yeah, I
Well,
played a little bit of Metro.
But not far
Oh,
enough
no,
to
but-
really get.
Yeah, not far enough to really get a feel for it. It doesn't. I don't know. The problems that you were saying that you were having with it didn't feel like anything to me. Like
Well, maybe
like
it's
not
just because
having
you didn't.
enough bullets or something.
Yeah, I
but
think it
just
might.
don't
Well,
think I got
yeah,
far
I
enough.
definitely played farther than we got.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I don't know.
Darkest Dungeon's really all I've been playing or kind of had time to play this week. So
So, next thing that we're moving on to. Why don't we move on to movie news first? And-
Let's go with it. All right, are you sure? I think we should do video game news. You know,
I don't know. We have a couple things that have built up these.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Yeah, well, I guess we could do gaming first. I mean,
I just feel like there's some stuff that we do want to talk about with gaming. Specifically, the thing that we talked about last week and around this time in the show too.
well, we do have less.
Yeah, which is why I'm
Stuff.
saying like let's well what I
gaming.
think we should do is we should take a break after gaming and then move on to movie stuff. Because I
Okay.
have a couple of
let's
things.
do that.
Okay, so
We're
Gaming news,
prepared,
then?
ladies and gentlemen. So yeah,
so prepared.
So prepared.
Well, that's
Well,
what happens
about
when
the
you combine
important
movie
one
and
that
gaming
we
news and kind of
introduced?
just go at win.
Yeah.
So the first thing is Atari is going to make their first console in over 20 years.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that, and what the fuck are they gonna do?
I
I'm
think
excited.
you put it most aptly, Sane.
Yeah.
It looks like Atari is desperate to crash twice in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see any way that a new console could break into the current market.
I think a
just-
new console could break into the market. I don't think an Atari console could break into the market.
I don't know.
Um,
Like the last time that a new console tried to break into the market was the Ouya, and
Well, that was basically
No,
just a
I think that's-
phone. Yeah.
I think that was a bad
example,
idea,
kind of. Yeah.
personally.
It
Yeah,
was.
just in general.
But the I'm not sure where Atari is like landing this, but if they're trying to be Microsoft breaking into the console market, then like they're at a severe disadvantage too.
yeah.
Like Microsoft, which is a huge software company, and Sony, which is a huge hardware company.
Yeah.
and Nintendo, which is a huge beat the shit out of Atari company.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo
I
Nintendo
killed
is
everyone.
prob but see, for the same reason, Atari is Nintendo is at a kind of the weakest position relative to the others because they don't really design their own hardware the same way as Sony does, and they don't really design a new their strong suit is their IP library and their actual design. But
Yeah.
from a console standpoint, they do have the weakest console, even if the current
Yeah.
one is a really good idea.
Right.
Atari, I just don't see it. They don't have really
Yeah.
strong IPs. They don't really have the console manufacturing stuff going
Ability.
on.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people still remember that the video game crash was caused by Atari's really dumb deal with
EA or no.
That movie.
ET, yeah.
E.T. Thank you. E.T. basically single-handedly caused the video game crash, and Nintendo is the only reason why we like have a gaming industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Atari breaking back in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and it's weird. I feel like it would definitely be possible to
Don't
break
you mean
into the console
Atari
market.
break out, TM?
Fuck! Oh my god! God damn it! I mean, I imagine derailed my shit with that. Fuck. I'm gonna finish my thought though, but I'm gonna need a second. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I mean, that was good though. That was.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Anyway,
What was
what
your
I was saying-
thought?
I feel like it would definitely be possible to break into the console market, right? Like Sane was saying, I don't fucking think Atari could do it. And maybe not even because of the same reasons. I feel like if you came in with like some crazy new fucking ideas or like some huge hardware upgrade, like with the Ouya, it was basically just like all those games that you like on your phone. Now you can just fucking plug that shit into your TV and it's not portable. That's the dumbest goddamn idea I've ever heard.
But it's not how it was advertised. The Ouya was advertised as
a
very
serious business fucking game.
a very
console.
small, portable kind of gaming console that you can take around with you.
Yeah,
But it was not a gaming console.
yeah. It was
Like,
The phone.
it was a phone. It
Yeah.
was a like the way they described it made it seem like a unique new thing that they needed, like what you were saying people would need to break into the console market.
but it
And that's why
absolutely-
people backed it. That's why people fell for it, because it looked like it was a unique new thing that might have a chance in the console market. It just wasn't.
Yeah, and like, well, okay, if Elon Musk decided I want to break into the fucking video game console market, I believe he could probably do it.
Now, every time that your child presses a button on this video game controller, it powers your house for 15 minutes.
In fact, it's powering this room right now. But, yeah, if Elon Musk wanted to get
And then
into
it
the
cuts
video
to
game-
then it cuts to a back room with like 10 people playing.
yeah. If Elon Musk wanted to break into the console market, if like HTC wanted to break into the console market with a console that jerks you off, I feel like all of that would be possible. Like a totally fucking VR console that just existed purely for VR gaming. Maybe they'd be able to break in.
They
I
have
don't
that.
think
It's
it's
called the
hard.
Sony PlayStation 4.
I mean, entirely built around that shit. Don't
I
don't
know
fucking
what you mean.
pretend.
So
yeah, I
can
think
you
we're all
think
agreed.
can you think of like any Atari IPs?
Breakout, fucking Asteroid, fucking. No, that's a
Centipede.
E.T.
Centipede?
E.T.
No,
yeah.
they published ET.
Yeah, they publish. That's not
See,
actually
that,
necessarily
what
an
I'm
Atari.
seeing is I'm seeing a bunch of things published by Atari, like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, but
Yeah,
and
really?
like some of the early Witcher games, but
yeah, really. Atari is mostly just a publisher. Like they.
yeah. So I
they
don't
have
see
provided the
how
hardware, Yeah.
I don't see how they do this. I mean, I could be wrong, but it just looks like a pretty hard proposition.
Is
So-
What the
Roller
fuck are
Toast-
they gonna
is
do?
Roller Coaster Tycoon published or made by Atari?
Definitely
They-
published. In fact, they didn't even publish like the third one. I think.
Here we go. Let's look at just this Atari greatest hits. We have such classics as Atari Adventure,
No, I think greatest
Atari-
hits is
Basketball.
I
And
think
those are
that's
all like
kind of-
Atari 2600 games.
yeah. I think currently.
Currently,
Missile
ain't got shit.
Command.
There we go. That Missile Command's my shit though. Oh yeah. I love
maybe
Missile
the
Command.
console will be a dedicated missile command machine where you actually sit in a turret and shoot down missiles.
And it powers your house.
And it
So-
powers your house.
So Atari filed for bankruptcy in
Yesterday.
2013.
They
And they sold their
after.
logo and all of their IPs, so this might not even be the same Atari. I'm not even sure. So I don't even know.
To Elon Musk.
I think that, man, like I do not see this working out for Atari.
Yeah, I don't either, man.
But could be
Watches
wrong.
were fucking wrong, though. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I
Watches
don't
were
know.
completely wrong. Watch as Atari just busts in next year's E3, like, look at this shit, and just explodes everything.
Could you imagine if Atari had a huge press conference? Just that idea just
Yeah,
sounds silly
just
to me.
that. I mean, if Devolver Digital can do it, Atari can do it. Well, okay, that's not true at all, actually.
Introducing the revolutionary new video gaming console from Atari and Bethesda Softworks LLC.
Skyrim.
The Dova Box!
Now you can play Skyrim.
Again!
Okay. So yeah. This is
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Speaking of consoles and Nintendo and beating the shit
Yeah,
out of Atari,
here we go.
Nintendo is releasing, in the same way that they released the NES Classic, they're releasing the Super NES Classic.
all two of the NES Classics that they shipped out.
Yeah, all two of them that they made. They're also releasing a SNES Classic, which will. The big important thing with this is they will be releasing the game Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo.
They fucking will.
21 other games will also be re-released, which includes Super Metroid, Super Mario World, Final Fantasy 3, which I don't believe ever got an American release on the Super Nintendo. I think
Zelda,
the first
Link
American
to the
release of
Past.
Final Fantasy 3 was
Link
to the Past.
Yeah, Final
Kirby
Fantasy 3 in
Superstar.
America was
Yeah, so a bunch of
Donkey
good
Kong Country,
games
oh,
are going
shit.
to be coming with it.
Wait, hold on.
Earthbound.
They will be
Oh.
having wired controllers
Thank God.
that feel exactly like the old ones. It basically they're just re-releasing the Super Nintendo so that you can buy it again. It will be available for $80 starting September 29th.
And ending September 29th. When
Oh,
they
Super
release
Mario
About
RPG.
30 minutes later.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, are we sure it's the Final Fantasy 3 that was the Final Fantasy 3
Yes.
back then, or is it like Final Fantasy 6 that was Final Fantasy? We know.
I think it's the American Final Fantasy 3.
Oh, so Final Fantasy 6 then. Fuck yeah, then. Shit.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
hyped. Fuck yeah. That's
Ooh,
cool.
Mega Man X.
Oh, fuck.
Yoshi Island. Oh man.
Contra 3.
The
The original
Man,
Star Fox.
You
also.
thought people were gonna kill each other over the freaking NES Classic?
Oh, yeah.
This is going to cause murders. Like,
Fucking
oh my God.
F0. Oh
If
my
they're
God.
if
No,
this-
but obviously the thing that I'm most excited for is Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
I don't care about that.
What?
Really? Really?
Bitch! I'll cut you!
I've never played a Star Fox game at all.
Really?
Bitch!
You should play Star Fox 64, and that's it.
I mean, Star Fox 64...
I
Star
briefly
Fox
played
also.
the
Oh, yeah, okay,
one
Star
on
Fox,
the
sure.
GameCube.
Oh.
That
Uh,
explains it!
no,
Star
The
Fox.
Assault one.
Yeah,
not
that's a
the-
really
not the
good
one with Crystal in it,
multiplayer.
the
Oh,
other
wait,
one.
Star Fox Assault was okay.
Well, I mean,
It was
the
okay.
multiplayer was kind of fun.
I played the
was
multiplayer.
fun,
I never played the single player.
The multiplayer,
Oh,
okay,
all
well
right,
then,
you
yeah,
got it.
sure, yeah. never
Yeah,
mind.
sure.
I played that briefly.
Crystal was like the most OP fucking bitch in the multiplayer because she had 3 fucking invincibilities.
But yeah, also,
Earthbound.
Dawson, you mentioned how Atari actually, well, how Nintendo killed the Atari. The truth is that with the Super Nintendo, Nintendo killed Sega. That's what was going on then. That was the second console wars, or technically that was the first one because.
Shut up,
Atari
nerd.
didn't even care. Nintendo didn't even care about Atari at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
they
no,
knew they
no,
were a
no.
non-threat. They were like, these people are gonna fuck up the entire video games.
We're gonna release the Atari Jaguar. It's fucking 64-bit. All that Bit Wars bullshit, we already won. $15 trillion.
Yeah. So that is exciting. Another retro release.
Classic games industry. Bad business decisions galore.
Never, I mean, you know, and we're
the
gonna
problem,
talk about.
as we've been joking about, Nintendo has never, ever released anything. Legitimately, there is not one thing that Nintendo has ever released. I'm talking amiibos, fucking copies of Nintendo Power Magazine. They have never made enough of them.
With
ever.
the exception of the Wii U.
Yeah.
That's
Which they have
because
made
that's
too
because
many
nobody
of.
wanted it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the original NES and Super Nintendo, they released exactly as many. Well, they released as many as they need. The problem is
part of the
they're
reason
sort of
why
stuck in that.
Part of
Yeah,
the reason why they had to scale up production of the Nintendo Switch is because they didn't want to do the same thing they did with the Wii U, which was make too many of them.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time they were like, let's make enough to meet scale.
Yeah.
And they made too many because they miscalculated
they thought
the
people would
demand.
actually like the Wii U.
So,
which they would have had Nintendo released games for it.
Yeah.
right. I think
if
that I
anyone
think their
had played
strategy
on the
with
Wii
this
U.
I think their strategy with the Switch has been way better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Up and
Straight
down,
up.
like it's been way better. So Lawbreakers beta in 2 days.
2
Yay!
days. Lawbreakers.
2 days from
Video
Monday. Monday, June 26th. So
It's a game.
it would start on the 28th then?
So if you're
It's a
watching this
game
on YouTube,
where the
it's been out
man-
for fucking 5 years.
Well, actually,
It's-
it would come out the day that I published to YouTube. But
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
game made by a man who made a game who another man made Zero Gravity, and then the man who made the game was like, wow, Zero Gravity is fun, so he made this.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
so. I think it might, because Unreal Tournament might have been the first game with zero gravity mutator in a first-person shooter, which
Yeah,
would
I
mean
think
Cliff
Zero
Blazinski would be.
Wait.
Zero
No.
Gravity wasn't I thought it was a user made thing. Like
I think fucking
For, like-
Quake 3 tournament
for, like,
had
Quake.
low gravity stuff.
I
Well,
think
either way,
Unreal
that's
Tournament
still
did it
him.
first.
Was Quake 3 tournament still? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I don't think. Was Quake?
Quake
Blazinski? I don't even
3,
remember.
I think was because that was just a full multiplayer thing. Like that, there wasn't even like.
I don't know. The point is, Lawbreakers, Cliff Blazinski, fucking.
I'm really excited for it.
It looks really good.
Cliff
It's
Blazinski
a-
did not
it's a
work on
hero-based-
any of the Quake games.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that Unreal and Quake had like a very
No, they were very
similar
competitive.
development team. Really?
Well, yeah, they were similar in quality, but they were competitive.
Huh. I always thought that Unreal was a Quake mod. Like originally.
No, Unreal Tournament was its own game.
What
Unreal and
started out
Unreal
as a-
Tournament
Oh!
was their own game.
I'm thinking Tribes. Tribes started out as a Quake mod.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Which is Tribes is also very similar to Unreal and Quake, I guess, because they're all so similar.
Right.
um
It was
Yeah.
one of the early arena shooters.
Yeah, but in any case, it's a hero-based arena shooter with low gravity shooting,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that I'm really excited for because back in my pro TF2 days, my philosophy for playing Spy was nobody ever looks up, and in Lawbreakers you're going to be able to be up a lot.
That game is very vertical.
Yeah.
Like
What
I've
what
watched
worries me
trailers
is that
or
it
I've
will
watched
train
gameplay from it.
people. What worries me is that game will train people to look up more in other video games, and then my whole strategy will be Kaputski.
Shit. I'm not gonna be able to play Farah anymore. Now everyone will know how to kill her. These Lawbreakers.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I'm definitely gonna be playing it. Probably streaming it. Assuming there's not an NDA, but it's an open beta, so there probably isn't. There can't
Yeah.
be.
Video game. Good video game. Looks fun. Also, I'm also very excited for it.
Now here's a very important one.
Oh.
Up next, Sane, would you like
Oh.
to bring up this
Yeah.
important one?
Why don't we hold that one for last and talk about
Okay,
Beyond Good and Evil
Here's
2.
a different important one.
So there's actually a gameplay demo out for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which means the gameplay actually exists. So
Yeah.
unlike our previous comments about us not
game
believing
not
till we
actually
see it, I'm
being
starting
real.
to believe it. So
Yeah. It looks more real than Metroid Prime 4.
Looks more real than the number 4.
Phil has to
Yeah,
take a moment here to cry live on
they
camera.
gonna making it. They gonna make it though. It's gonna fucking happen. Y'all ain't believe me, but it's gonna happen. Shit.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
I hope that it
I'm
does
really
turn out
glad.
well.
Yeah.
I hope that this isn't like hoo gameplay and then they just disappear for 10 years. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is more than we've ever seen out of Beyond Good and Evil, so.
Yeah.
And I really like the world that they've created so far, so.
And this one, this one is a prequel. Just FYI for all you who don't know. This game's a prequel to Beyond Good and Evil 1, which, I mean, you know, that game should have had like an ending. But who knows? Maybe if this game gets really popular, we can finally get Beyond Good and Evil 3, which is the sequel to Beyond Good and Evil 1.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe it's just been so long they didn't want to continue a story that was from a game 10 years ago. So maybe what we'll get is Beyond Good and Evil 2, Beyond Good and Evil Remastered, and then Beyond Good and Evil 2. Or 3.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil Remastered.
Beyond
Good and Evil 2.
The next generation.
2. The next generation.
So, and the probably the most important. So probably the most important thing this week is it looks like Take-Two is reversing their decision on Open 4, which is the Grand Theft Auto 5 mod.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little last week.
Yeah, we talked about. Well, yeah, I think we talked about this for a while
How
last week.
fucking
Yeah.
stupid they were for doing it.
Yeah. It looks like Take-Two was getting confused about the fact that it can't work with the multiplayer. So what
Yeah,
they've
like
kind of
multiplayer.
said is they would not take legal action against Open 4. Open 4 is now redistributing again. And they are reaffirming, the Open 4 is reaffirming again that it cannot work with single player or with multiplayer rather, like it always hasn't been.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe they'll, I don't even know how they would go to further lengths to remove the ability to do that because it was hard coded into the program not to work with multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it looks like Rockstar
and it's closed source, so it's not like someone can easily get the source code and make it work with multiplayer.
right.
Yeah.
It looks like Rockstar publicly. Well, I mean, when the report first came out, they kind of pushed blame onto Take-Two. Since then, they've kind of publicly asked Take-Two to reverse their decision, and it looks like Take-Two is
Doing it.
Yeah, is actually like going through. They released the thing saying that they would not take action against Open 4, like I said, and it looks like the consensus going forward is that Open 4 is legal,
Right.
or at least not illegal.
Right.
So, I guess they've revoked their CMDA or DMCA.
Right.
So that's cool.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Take-Two is able to reverse their decision. I think there was a change.org petition, because of course there was,
Oh, yeah.
that had 77,000 signatures, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And they also they on Steam the game was bombed into overwhelmingly negative reviews
Yeah.
on Steam. So I think this is a good thing, even though it sucks that Take-Two did this at all.
Yeah.
It's good that they reversed their decision so quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
it's-
the best we can kind of hope for. So
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like Take-Two doesn't really seem to understand like
Yeah, they
at,
obviously.
at all what the problem is. Like, I mean, and it's funny. Like you see all of like this crazy fucking amounts of hacking in Grand Theft Auto, and then like it was like last year, when there were like a bunch of people hacking and fucking Overwatch. Overwatch laid down a ban hammer on just a fuck ton of accounts. Like
yeah.
it was this
Well,
just
Blanket
wave of
bombing.
destruction.
I think Rockstar and Take-Two is doing the same thing. It's just
No,
hard
like,
to, it's
a
hard
lot
to
more
keep up with
hackers
the number
for-
of people doing it.
Yeah, online.
yeah, like I think people could just make a fucking new Rockstar account with like, and just use their thing. Like with Blizzard, you have to buy the
Right.
game for each account. Yeah, and that's
Well,
yeah,
you have
that's a
to
big
for
problem.
you have to for Grand Theft Auto also.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because
Alright.
you don't have access to Grand Theft Auto Online unless you own Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
oh, I meant like you have to buy the game again if you were banned, right? For your new accounts. Like
I
yeah, I
think-
think they can just create
I
like a
think
new
it's-
Rockstar account and link their Grand Theft Auto to it.
I don't know
That'd be
that you
hard to
can
buy.
change your Grand Theft Auto like I don't know. I guess I would have to. That's kind of getting into the weeds on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Take-Two is just doing a blanket thing to a bunch of mods. Like,
Maybe.
for multiplayer and single player, and then Open 4 got caught up. Maybe that's just speculation. Maybe they just actively went after Open 4, not knowing. I don't know. I don't know what what situation led to it, but it does look like at least they're reversing their decision now. So
And the truth
Right.
is, like, if you go down and read some of those like overwhelmingly negative reviews, even like the ones that aren't just like fuck Take-Two for doing this, like a lot of the ones that are just negative are like, okay, so the single player is fun, it's a great, well-made fucking game, and it's perfect, but the multiplayer it's full of fucking hackers, full of 12-year-olds. It's not fun to play in the overworld.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Also,
the
it's
the,
a huge
the
grind.
multiplayer is kind of one of those things. If you enjoy that kind of game, then you enjoy it a lot, and if you don't, then you like-
Mhm.
because it is still one of the most popular and played multiplayers
Yeah.
now still, and Take-Two is still making a ton of money from shark
Oh, yeah.
cards, so people are still buying their
They-
actual
they-
money.
Did
Yeah.
just recently update could come out with a nice update that allows you to own like a bunker and a mobile base of operations, which is like a semi truck that you can.
Yeah,
drive
they
back.
did release a lot of new
It's
content
cool
recently.
Yeah, and they
shit.
have been releasing a lot of content like throughout its entire life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not releasing any single player content, but that's kind of a different.
Oh yeah, but like
Yeah.
their
You
single
actually
player-
need a Open 4 mod to get all of the new cars that they've put into the multiplayer into the single
Mhm.
player. Kind of
Mhm.
ridiculous, but whatever.
But yeah,
That is really silly. They should at least add it to multiplayer.
You mean single player?
Yeah, add the multiplayer content to single player. Yes.
and anyway about it, like the single player content, there is just sort of a fuck ton of
Right.
that shit can last you for fucking hours. Straight
Yeah.
up.
Okay, so with that, I think we're gonna take a break for 10 minutes.
Hell
good.
yeah.
So
15.
we will come back
20.
at 6:17.
No, 20.
6:17 Pacific time.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We'll be right
All
back. Hi, welcome back to the show. We're here to talk about some stuff. Where
It
do we
actually
wanna
wasn't live. I
start?
think I cut you off a little bit.
Nah, that's fine. I'll give a credit.
Good.
Well,
Cut that
welcome
off.
back to the Graveyard Media Podcast.
Shit.
We're doing hour 2. Start off by talking about movie news.
Yeah. The question is, where do we want to start with?
Well, I think
Well,
that's up to Thel because he's the movie man. He's the
I,
man. with the
Why don't
plan
we
of the
end
movie.
with Star Trek?
Yeah, let's end with Star Trek. Well, let's start out with first off, one of the things that did happen last week. I said like nothing happened last week, but that just straight up was a lie. A lot of stuff happened, and we're having to spill over. First thing I think we should mention, Book of Life 2 is the thing that's going to happen. Book of Life is going to get a sequel, and I am hype. Yes,
Right.
I love the first Book of Life. I think both of you guys did too.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't my favorite movie, but I enjoyed it.
Book of Life.
I'm excited for more.
It was,
Bobby eating.
I'm
It
sorry.
was Dawson. If you don't remember, it was the Day of the Dead movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that was good. I
Um,
like it. I didn't even hear about that. So
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
now
so
you have.
yeah, getting a sequel, and then also on the same time, Disney's also putting out Coco. You had some thoughts about that, right? Though.
Oh, here we go.
I so here we go, and you might have heard of this, faithful listener. So George
Listener,
Gutierrez.
singular.
So George, so listener, faithful listener, you. Hi, FlashGen.
Don't call him out.
I'm calling him the fuck out. All right, so George Gutierrez, the man who did the Book of Life, he's also responsible for such things that everyone loves as Mucha Lucha and El Tigre. You probably watched those shows when you were a kid. I know I did.
Yeah, but I never liked him.
Really? All right. What?
I actually
whatever.
actively disliked those shows as a kid.
Shit. Well, okay, Mucha Lucha was my shit, so I was a little bit. George.
I never
Okay.
watched El Tigre because it looked like Mucha Lucha, and I hated Mucha Lucha.
Okay.
No offense to that. I thought I did like Book of Life better, but
okay.
I don't know.
But yeah. George Gutierrez is the guy who did that, and he also did Book of Life. He pitched Book of Life to Pixar. Before they did the whole Coco thing. He pitched Book of Life to them, and they were like, they threw him out on a fucking street. Tossed his ass out. So he found, he got fucking Guillermo del Toro to, like, give him money to make this movie, and he made the movie, and it was great. And 2 years later, about one movie development cycle later, it was announced, like, at the same time that the movie was released. Disney Pixar decides, we're gonna release a movie called Coco, a very, very similar movie with a lot of the same plot points, but we changed a couple things around. They took his idea and fucking shit on him with it, and this movie's gonna win the fucking Oscar. You know it. You fucking know it. Pixar wins every fucking year with this shit. God damn. I'm mad already. I'm preemptively mad for the Oscar season this year. But yeah, I'm glad that Book of Life is getting a sequel. Absolutely loved it. Hate Coco. Hate Disney. Evil big corporation bad. Let's move on. Fuck it. Let's talk about that new Spider-Man poster.
So I linked the I'll put this in the comments of the YouTube video, but I linked the poster for the IMAX version of Spider-Man Homecoming, and it is terrible.
It is so bad. I still have high hopes with. I like the new Spider-Man. I think he was good in Civil War. I'm glad that they're not doing another fucking origin story. We've had like 5 of those.
I like this version of Spider-Man better than the
Yeah.
other ones, but we're not really allowed to talk about Spider-Man because we have
Because
strong
Dawson gets
opinions.
mad. Yeah.
No, because you get mad at each other, and I have to listen to it.
But yeah, the previous poster, if you didn't know, was also a fucking horrible train wreck. And Dawson made a joke, and when I linked it to Dawson at first, he didn't think it was real. He was like,
Like,
don't
I
see what the fuck it is."
legitimately did not. I was like, what? What's so funny about this? And then you were like, this is the actual official poster.
Yeah,
And I
linked
was
it.
like, oh. I thought you were linking me like some kind of shit post that somebody made a like fake movie poster of this.
Yeah, like someone was making fun of it, like, oh, it's just gonna be a movie about fucking Iron Man, and like they made a poster about that. But no, that's just actually the true poster. And Iron Man, I'd like to point out in this poster is also center fucking frame. Well, no, he's not as much. He's not as much.
I mean, yeah, but Stark Tower is.
Well, Stark Tower.
But I
Tony
think
Stark
that's
and then
supposed to.
Iron Man.
I think Stark Tower is probably going to be more of a plot, like a landscape
Plot
that
hole,
they
yeah.
go into. So I think it's going to be
Yeah.
more plot related than the other poster, which seems like it's mostly Iron Man,
Yeah.
I mean, you got a big picture of Spider-Man here in the middle, right?
and,
Yeah,
and a big picture of
Spider-Man.
Vulture.
Yeah, and a big picture of Vulture. And then you got Iron Man over here. You got Iron Man over here. You got Stark Tower over here.
I think they're
Yeah,
going for that. I think they're going for that, like, scrapbook in the back of someone's notebook look.
like Suicide Squad did.
Yeah, like you know, like
yeah, I don't know.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something.
Right.
Except
But it
really bad.
feels really out of place for Spider-Man
Yeah.
to me.
Well,
I don't know.
I definitely see where they're trying to go with it. They're trying to do the thing that Sony did with the other Spider-Man because Sony's in charge of the marketing for this. We need the hip, young, cool Spider-Man. Hip, cool with the millennials. Sony is an evil, also an
It's
evil
weird.
corporation.
They went so much from orange and blue to like, what even is this? I'd prefer
Yeah.
a boring orange and blue poster to this.
And I
Yeah,
like to
this,
talk
like-
about like the posters for
Who is
Diary
that
of the
supposed to be? That's like that's like right under Spider-Man.
But
Who is that supposed to be? That's under
Aunt
Spider-Man there.
May? No. No.
I don't know. It could be a character that we don't know yet.
Is it Hot Aunt May?
It's not him.
What if it's
Down
Gwen
here we
Stacy?
have the black woman from Firefly.
What if it's
who's,
Gwen
The
Stacy?
new Mary Jane, which I mean, that's fine.
I don't
People
think
are
it's
gonna
Mary
get-
Jane. Mary Jane has like very red hair.
That's true. Well, she's the new like. So I don't fucking know.
Gwen
someone-
Stacy. I think she has to be the new Gwen Stacy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works.
If
Well,
Makes sense.
unless they just have someone random on the poster.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because from the previews that I've seen, it looks like it's following more in the Ultimate Spider-Man route, which would make sense given
Peter Parker dies.
Miles Morales.
well, in other Marvel related movies, they've taken more inspiration from the Ultimate line of comics because the Ultimate line of comics was always supposed to be grounded more in reality than the main line.
Crazy, yeah.
That makes sense. Like even like this is kind of a tangent, but this is actually kind of appropriate because if X-Men ever got reacquired by Marvel, it would be really easy for Marvel to introduce the X-Men because in the Ultimate line of comics, the X gene is dormant in a lot of people, and it took a catalyst of like a chemical being released that activated mutants, kind of. So,
Grounded in reality.
well,
Go
no,
on.
but in the sense that it would have a catalyst. It wouldn't just be like suddenly there's
Happen.
mutants everywhere for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what happened in mainline Marvel, whereas in
The Ultimate Universe. there was
Ultimate
like-
X-Men, it had a catalyst which explained why there was suddenly a bunch of mutants activating all at once. So,
Activated mutants.
so
activated all of
if
us, yes.
if Marvel were ever to reacquire it from Fox, they would be able to introduce mutants in a way that is minimally painful.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Will that ever happen? Well, I don't know.
I
I mean,
saw,
I think
like-
Logan might have been where they want to leave X-Men. It looks like
Well-
that is a possibility.
It's where they want to leave Wolverine for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
right.
it's where Hugh Jackman wants to leave Wolverine, and it's
Yeah,
I-
Marvel Comics
I-
will never ever stop milking Wolverine.
yeah. I don't think that I don't
Wolverine's
think that
dead
Fox
in
is
Marvel
going to
Comics.
stop. Oh well, for now.
For now.
No, Wolverine is
Captain
dead.
America's
They
a
have
Nazi
Old
Marvel
Man
comic.
Logan, who's in Marvel Comics, because they killed off all of the parallel universes and made one again.
Okay.
Except for the ones that they didn't. But anyway,
Also, I don't know if I mentioned this the last time that we talked about the Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm glad to see that we got Birdman in this movie. Remember that scene in Birdman where he talks about how these people don't like all this talky philosophical bullshit. They want action. They want explosions. They want all this good shit. And he's straight up playing that character.
you're gonna be
in
mad
the
at me,
actual
but I never
movie.
saw Birdman.
Oh, you should. I'm not.
It's
mad at
on
you.
my
You can-
list of movies to see. I just haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at you for like not having seen a movie. There's a bunch of fucking movies I haven't seen. Shit.
But anyway, so actually they've condensed a lot of the Marvel universe. The current Wolverine is X-23.
Okay.
Not Wolverine.
Oh,
yeah.
So
okay.
they've mantled Wolverine as a character, and now it's X-23. They also have
That's
Old Man
the only
Logan.
sensible thing to do, really.
Right. I feel like it made more sense to mantle Wolverine with X-23 than some of the other characters they've tried to mantle, like Captain America
Or
Yeah.
Thor.
or Thor. But
Thor was really weird.
in Thor's defense, Jane Foster is an interesting Thor.
Actually, I don't know. Thor as a mantle does make sense because
Right.
Mjolnir specifically says that
It's
whoever
less. I
was-
guess
gonna
Thor
wield
is
the
less
power.
bad than some of them. It just feels
except
weird.
the fact that the new girl Thor doesn't have Mjolnir.
Hmm.
Yeah, she does.
She has an axe.
No, Thor has an axe.
Oh, right. She gets
She gets
okay. She gets Mjolnir,
and
and
he
Thor
gets
gets a new axe.
what's its name? I forget its name. It's horse.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We make a video games podcast, and every single time we talk about like comic books for like 5 years.
It's
we
because comic book
tangent into
movies-
comic books all the time, and it's all my
Yeah,
fault.
holy
I'm
shit.
sorry.
no,
It's
no,
not
no,
your
it's
fault.
fine.
It's the movie news segment's fault.
Right.
It's the
And the
movie
comic
industry.
book games. Like last time we talked about
What,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
game.
because of fucking E3. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the movie industry's fault.
Miles
Trevor
Morales
Warner.
is in mainline Marvel comics now, by the way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
didn't know.
I did know that.
Tried to warn him.
Rampage.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey,
Monsters!
you guys know Rampage, that video
Speaking
game
of
from the
video
80s,
games,
and then
right?
it was like Rampage World Tour and stuff. You know that silly video game where like these fucking guys turn into monsters and beat the shit out of buildings, and it was like my favorite game from the 80s. It's getting a movie.
Huh?
Yeah. Starring The Rock. He posted set photos, so it's actually actively filming right now.
Okay, actually that makes me a little bit more interested because it sounds funnier now.
Well, and the truth is, The Rock has been in a ton of bad movies. I'm not like Moana was really good. I can't really think of any like really good movies The Rock has been in. But you can't hate that guy in any of the movies. He's good at what
he's
he
good
does.
in every movie that he's in. Just the movie.
He's just not good. He's just not in good movies. I mean, that's sort of what I'm
What
expecting.
about
for this one.
Fast and Furious?
Yeah, well, the concept of good as far as those movies are like.
What is
I don't know.
good?
They're okay. I personally do not like Fast and Furious. So this is like devil's advocate, right?
But a lot of people like
It is one of the most popular film franchises ever.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
indisputably. So like
I'm not gonna say, and a lot of them have gotten really good Rotten Tomatoes scores just because they're so fucking stupid. They just don't give a shit.
they're fun.
Yeah,
piece, right?
it's sort of like like
They're
how
fun
Adam
flicks.
Sandler. Yeah, it's sort of like how Adam Sandler like makes like movies where he hangs out with his fucking friends. It's basically that, except like you can sort of feel the fun coming through the screen in those movies. Like it's like all of the actors are just dicking the fuck around the entire time. And it's like you feel that in the movie, unlike the Adam Sandler movies where they're like making jokes and you're sitting there like, oh god damn it, fuck. Oh.
Apparently they're making a Shazam movie where The Rock is playing Black Adam, which is a villain. And then they're also spinning off that into Dwayne Johnson's own movie starring Black Adam. Sorry, I was just looking at the his fucking IMDb page and I just had to like
Shazam
as in DC Comics.
Yeah,
as in who used to be Captain Marvel, but they couldn't call him that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Shazam.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And The Rock is playing Black Adam.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Who's playing Shazam?
I don't know.
Some kid.
Or rather, who's playing the kid that is Shazam?
I don't know.
Timmy
Shazam.
James.
Drake Bell.
Drake Bell.
Actually,
Drake Bell still
the only listed cast member of Shazam so far is Dwayne Johnson as Black
Holy
Adam.
shit.
So
I'm glad that Dwayne Johnson is break. He should be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe somewhere. I mean, he should. I want him there. I want The Rock to have a good career in good movies. That's what he deserves.
I think I think he does make a lot of money off of all his films.
I mean, yes, but I believe that he deserves like I mean he makes like a shit ton of money, and he's very very generous with the money. And
He
like,
was
a
in
great
G.I.
guy.
Joe. That was a good movie. Relatively speaking.
Relative to fucking what?
The rest of his
Relative
movies.
to Scorpion King.
Mm, I know.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Inside there.
Say
I
what you
don't-
will about the quality of the movie, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson absolutely single-handedly made this particular movie good by starring in it. The
Mhm.
fucking Tooth Fairy.
I never saw it.
I never saw
Like,
that either.
The fact that Dwayne Johnson played the Tooth Fairy made it good by itself. Like, that was all that
Was-
it took.
Was The
no,
Rock
that's
in
what I'm saying.
Expendables?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Expendables.
Yeah.
I think he was.
I think he was. No, that was Terry Crews. I'm thinking of Terry Crews. He also deserves a good career with
I
good
think
movies.
Rock was also in it though.
He might have been. Oh right, no, maybe I think he came in like Expendables 2 or something.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he was in the first one, but I think he was in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. But yeah,
I don't know. Man, how did we get on Rock? Let's move on.
Okay. I don't know. We got The Rock because I like talking about The Rock. He deserves to be in good movies that are critically acclaimed.
Oh yeah,
Because
Shazam.
he's the
Anyway.
he should be a critical darling. Shit.
So I got some good news and some bad news.
I shoot.
Let's hear the bad news first.
Bad
Yeah,
news.
please.
They're rebooting Tremors, the TV show.
Oh yeah, that's right. This one.
Are
Okay.
you ready for the good
Okay,
news?
what's the good
Yeah, here we
news?
go.
It's starring Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Sci-Fi ordered a pilot for a Tremors TV reboot, which is that
Tremors.
brings me back. That reminds me of the 80s, but me watching all of the 80s movies in the 90s.
I'm pretty sure that Tremors was a 90s movie.
Was it in the 90s?
Remember,
Okay, well
yeah.
maybe.
Ass blasters.
Tremors 2 was actually good. I actually liked the movies more than I liked the series. The series was
I didn't even
garbage.
know there
Okay.
was a series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I liked
yeah.
Trimmers 1, 2, and 3, but Trimmers 4 was really boring because there was nothing new. It was just Trimmers 1 again.
I've only seen Tremors 1.
But the
Tremors
Death
2
ones
was pretty
were like
good.
less cool.
Tremors 2 was better than Tremors 1.
Really?
Trimmers 2 was
Yeah.
pretty good, yeah.
Okay, so Tremor was 1990, so technically it was the 90s. Right on the cup.
Okay.
Right on the cup. But yeah.
Either way, I mean, I was born in 91, so like by the time that I saw it anyway, it was kind of an older movie.
So yeah, fair. Good Tremors, good. Happy about Tremors. Like Tremors. Kevin Bacon in Tremors? Okay. I'm glad Kevin Bacon is just
Kevin Bacon.
working
Well, he's
man.
reprising his original role.
Oh, cool.
He was
He's
in
gonna
Tremors.
fucking Ellen
so-
Ripley that shit. He's gonna whatever the main character's name in Nightmare on Elm Street was that shit.
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger. I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously that's not what you're talking about. But
Well,
moving on.
technically, the main character was she was only in 1 and 3, and then like the weird one where she played the actress. It was really good. But anyway, enough about that. We're gonna get on a huge tangent. I
Yeah,
know we
like
will. 'Cause-
let's get ready to argue for the rest of the show.
Oh boy, is it time?
I think it's time
You
to move
guys
on
mind if I
to
start?
Star Trek
Star Trek
Discovery.
Discovery. All right, so Star Trek Discovery. All of us, I think each of us is a big Star Trek fan. We all
Right.
love fucking Star Trek. Love it. This was a new Star Trek series. I feel like this is the perfect time for a Star Trek series. I feel like it's a good time, especially when in this huge age of great fucking television coming. I feel like if any time was great for a new Star Trek series, they would be this.
I definitely
heard-
agree. It's time for a new Star Trek.
Yeah, especially because the last one was Enterprise, and that was like 10 fucking years ago or longer.
Especially if you didn't watch Enterprise because you thought it was bad when it came out.
Been a long road getting from there to here. Anyway, perfect time for Star Trek.
It's bad when you think Voyager is better than than something else.
Yeah. Perfect time for Star Trek. I heard that Brian Fuller, the guy who did Hannibal, Pushing Daisies, all of that stuff, American Gods, was going to be producing it. I was immediately on board. I was like, fuck yeah. Like this reveal trailer came out and they showed like the ship and everyone was like, this looks like shit, it's gonna be trash, the fucking ship looks like garbage. It's like, we haven't fucking seen anything yet. And then this new trailer came out. And you know what? I have never, like, and you can't really tell a lot of stuff from a trailer, but I have never seen a trailer that has just taken all of my hopes and dreams and thrown them directly in the trash. It looks so bad.
Okay, so let's get into it. What looks bad about it, though?
Don't understand. Like, the lens flare looks really bad. That's the one thing that I can point to.
No.
Step back.
All right.
Let's hear
Okay.
Thel's
Okay.
opinion, and then we'll talk about it.
So let's start. I feel like the best place to start is the main character, which may be the focus of the series. That's how it's looking. She is this half Vulcan who is going to be the next captain, who is perfect to be the next captain, who everyone loves. This brilliant woman, half Vulcan because that's what fucking Spock was. Of course, this is going to be a prequel to the other one, which I mean that has its own problems. I don't know if they should be keeping doing that. But
I don't.
whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it could
I really
be
wish they
fine.
weren't doing a prequel as
Yeah.
well, but if they're going to, they're going to.
This looks like it's going to be a show focused on fighting the Klingons and watching this person grow and be the strongest, baddest ass woman ever. That's not what fucking Star Trek is about. Star Trek is about going to fucking planets and like dealing with that. Star Trek is like a hard sci-fi show. This is trying to make it fucking soft sci-fi. We had a show that fucking showed everyone how to do Star Trek. It was called Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it was fucking great. It was incredible.
So,
and this looks like it's just gonna go the same way. Like it's trying to pander to the people who like the Star Trek movies, and
so I'm a little mixed
okay.
on my opinion here.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Dawson?
Oh yeah,
with what you
ahead.
liked
No, you go
before I
first.
say what I didn't.
You go first because I think it's good. You're mixed. Stell thinks it's bad. So
Okay, so I'm mixed on it.
Okay.
I think that it's hard to tell from the trailer. It looks like they do focus on a couple of specific characters a lot in the
Well,
trailer.
a couple of specific
but
characters would be fine, but
Every
like,
Star Trek has been an ensemble cast.
yeah.
So I feel like it would be really... I couldn't imagine them moving from a large ensemble cast to being about one character. Even if that's how the trailer made it look. I mean, I'll change my opinion if the show comes out and is like that. But from the trailer, while it did focus a lot on that one specific character, I didn't think that... My expectations is that it would still be an ensemble cast, so that doesn't bother me. I think that the effects look good, with one exception. I thought the makeup for the Klingons is garbage.
Can I talk about the fucking head ridges again? Can we talk about the fucking head ridges?
Okay. Klingons look so distinct. They have forever.
Yeah.
I
Well, not in the
like
original
cannot
series,
believe
technically,
that
yeah.
even Enterprise, while different, still looked closer.
Yeah.
But
Like-
this looks totally different, and
Well-
my biggest complaint is just the makeup on not just the Klingons but all of the characters. I think that the makeup does not look as believable to me.
really,
And my biggest problem isn't just the main character. It's just that this looks like it's going to be an action fight of the Klingons television show.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
where,
looks
you
that
know-
way, but when I was seeing it, I was thinking that because it's a trailer, they're clipping together a lot of action parts. I don't see that being the point of the show. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure,
I mean-
but at this point, I think I could see them, even if it was like very classically like about political and social commentary and stuff like Star Trek is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I could see them splicing together a trailer from all of the action scenes. It
Yeah,
it didn't look
it-
like there was a lot of action scenes from one episode. It looked like they took like several 2-minute action scenes from other episodes. So I am
Like-
very I would be upset if it was really action. I just think from the trailer I'm not sold that that's what it is.
I suppose that is true, and that is the biggest thing.
Like, you
This
could
is
make
just a trailer; it hasn't come out yet. Straight up,
from
yeah.
Star Trek: The Next Generation and just put a bunch of fight scenes in it. And granted, no, actually, yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation would look like the most horrendous series ever made if you put a bunch of fight scenes in from it in a trailer. You would just see Riker going a lot. Like,
well, no, I mean, like, you clip together like them like, oh, put power to the shields and stuff, and like dramatic scenes where stuff explodes into sparks, and if all you saw of Star Trek: The Next Generation was a clip together scene of like sparks blowing up, then yes, it would also look totally different from what it is.
Look completely different from what it is. But they want to draw people's eyes with the trailer. I think it looked decent. Like, I don't think the makeup was that big of a deal. You guys are really harping on the makeup. I don't think the makeup looked bad at all. Like, particularly the alien that was in the end with that senses when death was gonna happen or something. I mean, that looked like
okay.
like that looked like a nice big full.
Yeah, that looked better to me, but
pretty good.
Maybe that might just be because I'm less familiar with that guy. But
the Klingons. I didn't. Okay, I will admit that I didn't even notice Klingons in the trailer. I didn't see Klingons there.
I wouldn't have known that they were Klingons had they not said they were Klingons.
They were Klingons.
The Klingons did not have head ridges in the original series.
Because that was like genetic stuff that they did.
Genetically engineered them in between the original series
and the next
and this takes place before the original series. So yes, Klingons are going to look vastly different.
Maybe.
So, like from a lore standpoint, it would make sense that Klingons look very different from how we're used to seeing them.
I agree, but I feel like they should look more like they did in the original series, which is
like Genghis Khan.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like Genghis Khan.
Yeah, just like Genghis Khan. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's the reason.
Yeah, but you can't make him look like Genghis Khan because that's racist.
Oh yeah.
You have to make him look different.
Boy, did you see the fucking Klingons in this movie? What do you mean that's racist? Holy shit. This is like, I mean, and this is something we don't like to get into like politics and shit on this show, but Star Trek is always been a very politically
it's always been about social commentary.
Yeah, and it's always been very forward thinking. These Klingons look like Unga Bunga Me from Africa, man. It's terrible. I hate.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like if they were going to do that, they should
culture, but it's their own like Klingon culture is their own culture that Star Trek made up from the ground up, not like from other Earth cultures that you know.
I just feel like if they were going to do head ridges at all, they should have done it more like, you know, how we recognize them in The Next Generation. I think they both didn't like go to the original version of Klingons, and they also didn't like represent what most people consider them now. So it's like I feel like they had to thread a needle, and I think that they fucking threw the needle away. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna harp too much on the makeup.
Yeah.
It's disappointing to me, but
there is like straight up more stuff to talk about. Like,
right.
Where are the Klingons in this trailer? I'm like seeking through it. I legitimately cannot find them.
Here, I'll link you a screenshot.
Okay. Yeah, no, like seriously, is it like that scene where they're raising that sarcophagus thing? Are those supposed to be Klingons?
Yeah.
That's what you're kidding.
I linked you a picture. No. I linked you a picture. That is a Klingon.
In fact, they have like the like Klingon ships. They're straight up Klingons. Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I take it back.
So what I'm saying is they're not
Okay.
even recognizable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. Those are not Klingons. But we don't know.
I mean, yes, we still.
The
I mean, who
context.
knows? Yeah, who knows?
It could
Well,
be
yeah,
a particular subspecies of Klingon. That's not something that hasn't
like,
happened in
sector.
Well,
Star Trek.
here's the thing. What really scares me about it is like just the fact that the stuff that we did get. Visually, it looks like the J.J. Abrams like sort of Trek, which is why I think they're going to go hard on the writing. The person is like a half Vulcan because that's what Spock was, and that's what people recognize, and that's a Star Trek thing. that
People
can
don't-
go
Okay,
with.
No,
So
I would
here's-
not say that. I would say that only fans of Star Trek know that Spock is a half Vulcan. Most people just think he is the quintessential Vulcan.
People who
which
have
he is
seen the
very-
in
new,
defense of the trailer, I think that anybody who's already interested in Star Trek will give it a shot. Will watch at least the pilot.
It's true.
So what this trailer is designed to do is bring people who aren't necessarily into Star Trek and maybe give them something to jump on. Like, it does look very J.J. Abrams. It does look very, like, from a CG standpoint, impressive. The makeup, while not true to it, is still elaborate, right? Like, there are things that look interesting, and it has a female lead. There are things that are there to draw people in. It just doesn't feel very Star Trek-y the way the trailer
Star
was
Trek is
cut.
supposed to Star Trek.
So, from a trailer standpoint, it's designed to target people who aren't us.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, and it's
So
I'm just
we
afraid
have
the
to
whole show's gonna be like
recognize
that.
that maybe the show will still live up to some of the classic Star Trek shows, but the trailer, I do agree, is not conveying a strong feeling of classic Star Trek.
Yeah, and it's
So
like,
I'm very mixed on it, and I'm really want to see the pilot to really make a bigger decision on it. But right
Yeah.
now, I feel like I
oh
don't know.
God.
Oh no. What
I'm
did you
scared.
find?
All right, so no, never mind. I think I just proved my points. So here are the people who are listed as the creators of the show. Brian Fuller, who I mentioned previously, who is great and I love him, and the other one is Alex Kurtzman, the part
What's he
of the
known for?
duo of Kurtzman and Orsi, who wrote the Transformers movies
Oh.
and the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie.
Well, I think the first Abrams movie was pretty good, and the third
first-
one was pretty good. I think
Yeah,
it's
and
the
the third one
second
is the best one, and that had nothing to do with Kurtzman and Orsi. They were kicked off the project.
Okay, well, fair. I think the second one was the worst because
yeah,
it had a
and
lot
that's-
of issues.
Yeah,
the
and I feel like
first
the second.
The first one I don't think was bad. I think it was pretty good. It was leaning more heavily on the action side. But they're creators, not necessarily writers. So they could still be more involved with the visual look, not necessarily the writing.
And no writers are listed that I can see.
So
And-
I mean, I'm willing to
And this
give
was-
at this point I'm willing to give Star Trek the benefit of the doubt. I want to wait until I see more about the show and then watch the pilot before I make a strong decision on it. I wouldn't even say that this negatively affects my feelings about going into another Star Trek, but right now I'm very wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, this movie has all of the markings of death.
Series.
Yeah, sorry, serious.
That's fine.
I fucked that up. But yeah, it's just, oh gee, oh boy, Santa Maria, fuck. Yeah, all of the gods, Jesus, the Holy Trinity of God, Allah, fucking the
other
Buddha,
one.
the Great Almighty Fuck.
Allah, God, and God.
So God, God, and
if
God.
you're just talking about the Abraham.
If I'm talking about the Abrahamic gods, I mean God, God, and God.
Yeah.
God,
Jesus, Muhammad, and no one.
Well, Muhammad was a prophet.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
So it would be like that would be like saying Moses.
Yeah, okay.
Muhammad
Jesus,
and
Jesus, God, and Moses, who is, Moses appears in all of them, but
I'm not.
I think he appears in the Quran. I think.
let's not talk about religion.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Let's not do that. But I do think, as far as like the religion tangent that we got on, that was like the least offensive possible thing that we could have done. We were just discussing it. Like, yeah.
True, but like.
Let's not. I completely understand. Let's absolutely not.
So okay. I'm pretty much done talking about Star Trek now. Any last?
I think we went over it.
Are there any last thoughts about anything that we want to bring up before we go?
Not that I know of.
You've been streaming a lot, right, Dawson?
Yeah.
Why don't you plug your stuff?
Yeah,
I don't have links on the screen.
A lot is not exactly the right word. I've streamed like 4 times now. Twice was with you guys. But I plan to be streaming a lot at twitch.tv/graveyarddawson.
Yeah.
It would just be Dawson, but Twitch won't send me a fucking email for that account, so I had to make a different one. And so we'll tie it to my Graveyard Media. Yeah.
Get Rex in the back.
Look at him.
Kitty.
Tibble was here hanging out with me. He came in during our break and he was like, "Yo, what up? I saw you when I was a kitten." Oh, they're fighting.
Mm-hmm. Well, there they go.
All right.
So yeah, and I'll probably try to stream more coming up.
Same.
I have
and
links to everybody's stream on my page.
I'm twitch.tv/SaneGray.
I'll stream video games too, and I'll also stream movies. Wait, no, that's illegal. Shit, can't do that. Fuck, never mind. Shouldn't do that.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. Thank you for joining
Moving
us.
on to the end.
Moving on away from there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe because I'm the guy who says that part.
Mm-hmm.
You are.
You are.